Hi YouTube, Engineer Boy 100. Well, we've got another BMW X3M competition video for you. I screwed up big time, and now you guys get to watch me eat a slice of humble pie. That's right, I messed up, I admit it, and I'm going to eat that slice on camera and then correct my mistake. So alright, you guys might be wondering what this is all about, and I'm going to tell you right now. In one of my last videos, I did the differential oil change on the rear differential of the 2020 BMW X3M Competition. I used the wrong fluid. Unknowingly, there are components and clutches inside of that differential that require the specific blend of ingredients in the BMW Hypoid Axle Oil G4, part number 83222447362. Okay, shake well before using. So, as a punishment for making that huge mistake, I've taken down that video. I'm going to reinstate this video in its place, and I'm going to, on camera, eat a slice of this afore-viewed humble pie, because it's important that we understand that when we make mistakes, we need to own up to them, we need to admit them, we need to correct them, and a lot of people have a hard time doing that. And I want to make sure that it's clear I am not one of them. And I'm going to take this pie. Oh, it's bitter. The humble pie is the worst. It's terrible. Okay? That's not true. Many of you might find that the humble pie is actually quite delicious. And I'm going to have some right now. Here it goes. It's going in. It's going up, up, out of sight. Up, up, and This is terrible. Oh my God, this is the worst. Guys, you gotta learn to eat your humble pie. All right, let's get into the rest of this video. Let's change this oil correctly. All right, guys, all kidding aside, this was a really big mistake, very serious issue, could cause problems with people's vehicles, and I want to make it perfectly clear the correct way to do it. First off, before we get into actually changing the fluid in the differential, I want to point out how I figured out something was wrong. Going around corners, there's a groaning sound. It goes, it's like it's groaning. You turn left, you turn right, and then when you go straight, it's pretty much quiet. It doesn't make any noise. That's those clutches not being lubricated correctly and grinding against each other the wrong way. So make sure if you change your differential fluid, don't use any hydraulic fluid off the shelf. Make sure you use the correct BMW fluid that is for your car, and make sure you shake it well before you put it in. All right, so now I'm going to go out, I'm going to change the differential fluid, show you how to do it, show you how to remove the plugs, where the plugs are, and hopefully by the end of this video we have at least one slice of pie left. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and drain the old oil out and pump in this Hypoid Axle Oil G4 in the rear differential. Make sure if you do this oil change, it's very important that you use the correct oil. This oil needs to be shaken very well because it has an additive in it that separates when it just sits. It separates if it's on the shelf or just have it in the garage for too long. You really need to shake it well so that when you pump it in, it's not all settled at the bottom, and half of the additive that you need to lubricate the clutches inside the differential is still in the bottom of the bottle. So very critical. Shake, 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 and then shake some more, and then go ahead and drain and pump. So I'm going to go ahead and drain out these old and pump in the new. We're going to use a 14 millimeter hex. Okay, it's 14 millimeter. Now, when you take out your drain plug, you want to take out your fill plug first. Remove the fill plug first. Why? Okay, well, here's why. You want to remove the fill plug first Because if you remove the drain plug and for whatever reason the fill plug is stuck or you can't get it out or you don't have the right size wrench or whatever reason, you just disabled your vehicle because now you can't fill it back up. You can't fill in through the drain plug. So you remove the fill plug first to make sure you can refill it before you drain. Then you take loose the drain plug. Okay, I'm going to follow my own advice and I'm going to take out the fill plug first. And another good reason to take out the fill plug is it allows the draining to vent so that there you go, there's the fill plug and the drain plug's on the bottom. Okay, so here's the drain plug right here. Okay, and the fill plug's always going to be higher, obviously, right? You want to fill up. So when you put your oil back in, how do you know how much to put in? And then you put the fill plug in. So now I'm going to take a loose this drain plug and drain into this bucket. So let me get all set up and then I'll let you watch me drain it. All right, got my little wrench. I loosened it in advance so I wouldn't have to loosen it on camera. So while we can watch this drain, these screws are so big, it's nice, the 14 millimeter, that it'll stay on your hex and you don't lose it and drop it. Oh, see, there we go. Ah, lovely. There we go, and it just stays on there. See, it just stays on. And you got so we'll drain. Let this drain out. Ooh, yummy. And then we will put the drain plug back in and then fill it up into the fill plug. Okay, so I got the plugs out. We're draining the oil. I'm letting the oil drain for a nice long time to get all of as much of that silch and dirty oil out as possible. And man, was it dirty. Look at I cleaned all of this dirt and stuff just off of the plugs. So how much was in the oil? Oh my goodness. Okay, so it was filthy. So on this change, I'm going to reuse my O-rings, okay, because this is the first time the car's new, and so they're fine. I checked them. They're not flat. They're not nicked. They're in good shape. I removed this one with a plastic toothpick, okay, and this was the one that was dirty. This is the fill plug that's up high, not bathed in the oil constantly. It was clean. So I didn't even need to take the O-ring off, okay. I took this O-ring off and there was dirt and grime all underneath it and just filthy. So I had to clean the threads, the little trench, and everything else. Now, in the meantime, I ordered replacement O-rings for next time. So how do you do that? Well, you have to know what size O-ring it is. The way you measure O-rings is by the diameter of the O-ring cross section, the thickness of it, okay, which is 1.5 millimeter for this guy. And then you want to measure the inside diameter. Well, it's all squishy. How do you measure the inside diameter of an O-ring? You don't. You measure the inside diameter of what it goes on. Okay? So I measured this and it's 22.5 millimeters. So to order this O-ring, you're going to need 1.5 cross section by 22.5 inside diameter, the inside diameter. If you want the outside diameter, you add the inside diameter to 2 times the cross section and then you get the outside diameter. But the way O-rings are read is cross section, which is 1.5, by inside diameter, which is 22.5. All right, and I already ordered me some replacements for next time. So these are going to get reused because they're in good shape. Let the oil drain a little bit longer. Just trying to add a little bit extra value to the video for all my BMW guys out there. And next, all we're going to do is we're going to put the drain plug back in, and then I'm going to pump Dell back in until it starts coming out, and then I'm going to put the fill plug back in, and then we'll be done. They'll do a test drive to see if it still binds and clunks the way it was before when I put it from drive to reverse, and see if it transitions a little bit more smoothly. All right, so next we'll fill her up. All right, I want to get in a really quick word to emphasize the main reason for doing this video is not to show you how to change the differential oil. Change the differential is very simple. Most people already know how to do it, but they don't really realize how important it is to do it, especially on the BMW X3M competitions. Here's why. The gears are new. These vehicles are new. They're not older vehicles. So these gears have just been cut. So they wear in and little bits of fine metal come off of the gears into the differential oil. And that combined with dirt or whatever gets in there wears your gears out, wears your seals out, damages your differential. Okay. Combine that with the fact that this is not your dad's 1960, 200 horsepower Mustang. These things are 450, 500, 600, 800, 900 horsepower. And the differential is the highest stressed component of the drivetrain. It has the highest, by far, the highest amount of forces going through that differential to change that direction of turning, from one direction to going through the wheels. They're under tremendous force. So yeah, they're going to wear and they're going to kick off metal. So you got to change that oil. And then when you don't, and your differential seizes up and you have to change, you're like, wow, it's a brand new car. Why'd my differential go out? You are why your differential didn't go out. You don't understand how it works in the conditions. The conditions are a brand new car, freshly cut gears, extremely high horsepower, extremely high forces. Differential fails. Everybody's baffled. Oh my God, what? How could this happen? I only have 38,000 miles. Have you ever changed your oil? Change your differential oil, guys. In your X3M Competition. X3Ms have a lot of power. All right, that's enough for me. All right, so here's the old oil that came out, and you can actually see the swirls of metal and the sparkly, glittery flakes of metal that are in this oil. It's filthy. And that tells me that even if something else was wrong, I was sure right about this. So yeah, I'm gonna put that new oil in and things should smooth out between our transitions between reverse and drive. Yeah, change your differential oil. All right, so I'm gonna put the drain plug back in, obviously, first. And that way, when we put the new in, it doesn't just come right back out. Oh! Dropped my wrench, sorry. And then, once I torque this down, I will just fill it up with fresh new oil. Alright, so this is how we pump it in. There's the fill hole up top. And here's the green looking fluid. See? Put it in like that. And then I'm just going to pump it. And I can actually pump a little bit of it. Push with my shoulder. Actually, yeah, I can pump it with one hand. See it going in. There you go. You see that? It's going in. That's one pumped in. So, yep, we'll fill her up, and then we'll do like 20 U-turns, I guess it takes, to work it into the clutches and see if this groaning noise stops. All right, guys. Here's another detail. This is the oil that I drained out, okay, of the differential. It's about 400 cc's. Okay, so once it's finished draining and I put the plug back in, the drain plug back in, I refilled the differential until it started draining out. And guess what? This right here, this is 400 cc's. I pumped in 1200 cc's. So it was low. I don't know who did it last, but that's another reason you might want to change and check your differential oil, because who knows what the level is, because you can't check it. It's not like there's a dipstick. You can't even check it with the electronic like you can the engine oil. My differential oil was low and dirty. That's the perfect storm for a failure. So yeah, man, guys, come on. We have so many problems with these differentials, differential bolts, differential bushings, breaking balls, funny noises, All I can say is, here's a healthy tip. Change your differential oil. At least you'll have a marker to know where you're at. You'll know that it was actually filled up properly, and you can avoid the silts from the metal. They're not really filings, but metal, basically dust that comes off of the new gears, building up in your oil and causing problems in your differential. These cars are too powerful and too fun not to take good care of them. Alright guys, mine's all full. I'm going to go ahead and hop in, see if it's still making that noise, and I'll report when I'm in the car whether or not my issue is resolved. Alright guys, we're in the car. Oil's all changed, and hopefully after they say 20 U-turns, that's supposed to coat the clutches enough with lubricant so that the groaning will stop. So we're going to do a turn right now. First turn. You may be able to hear it. I didn't hear anything. So it may have coated them already. I don't know. You may not be able to get to hear it. So we're going to go up here and make another sharp left. We'll stop. See if we can watch out for traffic. And I didn't hear anything again. So we might be done already. But I want to emphasize what we had to do. We had to put the correct fluid in. I just drained out some brand new mobile Delvac synthetic gear oil that I put in by mistake. We started hearing some groan in the differential, so we drained it out and we put in the correct BMW oil. And I have a bottle of it here. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, let me read what it is. It is the High Point Axle Oil G4. Okay, this is the correct stuff. This is the stuff we just put in. You just watch me put this in. All right, I'm just overemphasizing it. I know I already showed it. Don't give me comments about that I already showed it. I'm going to try to do a bunch of turns for you guys, and we may hear the groan and we may not. If we don't, I'll take it. Okay, I'm not even going to complain. That's the goal. I'm trying to get rid of the groan. And so far, I've heard no groan. I'm going to go around this roundabout. There's a roundabout coming up. I'm going to go around. It makes a nice little right, and then it makes a nice little left. And I'm going to slow down. I'm going to go right. I'm going to go left. I'm going to go right again. And I think you kind of have to be going slow, and even from a standstill or a stop to hear the groan. But so far, I've heard nothing. Another point that I made earlier when we installed the fluid, before you install it, you have to make sure you shake the bottle vigorously to mix the additive in. It settles to the bottom of the bottle. The little aggregate that's in the fluid that coats your clutches in the differential, you have to shake it well. You have to shake it up right before you put it in so that it's integrated into the oil. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we may be done, guys. And if we are, I'll take it. Now, in our next videos coming up, we have some Porsche videos coming out. I don't know if you guys are interested in that, but we also have one for the front mount bushings on the rear differential, made by Ryan Moard. Okay, they are excellent quality. I love them. I'll show you one right now. We're going to be installing these into the differential to support the front. There's two front mount bushings. This is one of them, okay, that he made, and I'll show you there's a specific technique and a specific order that you have to install these. So we'll be doing that video. I don't know if we're going to be doing this one next or the starter on the Porsche next, but they're coming very soon, close together. So stay tuned for those if you're interested in that. But beyond that, it sounds like our groan is gone. which I'm glad for. And if that's the case, our business here is done. And I want to thank you for watching. So have a nice day.